everybody? Spirit of 420 here. You know the rest. Well, I'll just say it again because everything I do is just so 420. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. It's the weekend. It's Saturday. Time to, how do you say, relax and loose. I bet somebody's going to go out to a party or something tonight. I know if I was younger, I would be going to a party. What do we got here? What's up, Dirk? How you doing, man? Good to see you. It is another day, another hour, another, all those good things. And I have a few things to share. I may end up having, I know I got a new subscriber today, and I know I'll have some, and I lost two. So, and we're going to talk about both of them. So, I'm sure you read it, change is brewing. Welcome the change and keep moving forward, right? Truly believe that. I believe the only way to move forward is to continue to change, right? And roll with those punches, as they say. So I'll start off there. I've throughout the time, Skylar's passing, it's been tough. I'm not going to sit and say that it happened now. And I'm not going, I'm in a great mood. So don't think anybody, I'm not going down, but it's been tough, right? One of the reasons it's been tough is at the same time, it has nothing really to do with Skylar, but it has everything to do with Skylar. At the same time that Sky died, that was 19 days after I lost what I thought was the last job I was ever going to have, right? And in the simplest of terms, I thought I would end up retiring from this job. Truly did. And I was let go abruptly and without reason. So it's still today it's a bit like I had two big things that I lost at the same time that I did not have closure on. My job or my son. My son was taken from me in the blink of an eye, and my job was taken from me in the blink of an eye. 19 days away in the same calendar month, as a matter of fact, October, right? And I can tell you, one of the things that did was it absolutely wiped my confidence. Because, a lot of people don't know it, but the reality of it is, it was on the 3rd of October that I lost my job. Well, I literally that day created a new company, right? And funny enough, the 21st, which was a Friday, I had a meeting. So what was that? 18 days later. This was the day before Sky. Had a meeting and got investors. Got investors for, I'll even tell you, I got investors that were coming in at a minimum of 15,000, maybe even as much as 30,000, which is, decent numbers considering it was the first company I put together in a few years. And it was all just based on projection, not one sale. Although the projection was based on my sales performance and the fact that I sold the same stuff, just to let you know. So it's not like it was on a whim. Anyway, so on the 21st, I got these investors. In fact, I called Sky that day, and the last time I talked to my son, he told me how proud he was and how much he loved me. So, there is that awesome part, right? Like that I cannot deny, and I don't take it away, and I love that. That's the last thing that was said between us. I told him about the investors, and he told me how much he loved me and how proud he was. He was also really proud of, oops. That's what you call fertilizing the carpet. I got that, funny enough, for those of you who don't know, that fertilizing the carpet came from my grandfather, who, funny enough, I had forgotten about it because I was young. And my dear mom reminded me. She's like, it's your grandfather that used to say that. He would just say, "Oh, just stomp it in. I'm fertilizing the carpet." I've since picked up the saying because I dropped so many marijuana ashes inside. I don't smoke cigarettes inside, but I do smoke the Mary Jane. So back to what I was saying, it was a really difficult time because losing the job, I should probably finish the thought. So on the 3rd, I was fired. I'm just going to go quick. On the 21st, I got investors. The 22nd, Skylar died. Within 10 days of that happening, the investors basically bailed out. One of them wasn't even answering my calls anymore, right? So, needless to say, it put me in a deep, dark place. And part of that was that I lost. And anybody who knows me, even during the show, during this time, you would see, my confidence being up and down. And I really didn't I would muster enough confidence to get on the show and do this, right? But I was not the same me. And in fact, obviously my family noticed it and all that. And no coincidence, there was no change going on, right? And without change, again, back to full circle, back to what I was saying, without change, we don't have any growth. There's no growth without change. So keep in mind. By the way, we'll find out soon enough, but I'm wondering if I'm starting to develop a posse because I have a really that's here. But if I it's funny, the harder I try, the more it shakes. Now, my wife, on a side note, thinks that this may be from taking Lexapro, and that's what I said. We'll soon find out because I'm going to stop taking the Lexapro, most likely very soon, because I am over the, if you will, and I don't like to take pills. And that was I told y'all that was going to be a very short spurt. Take the Lexapro so that I wanted to stop. Because I didn't want to kill myself. I just didn't want to live anymore, right? So I should say I took Lexapro. I wanted to start living again, right? And now that I'm here, I'm here. So change, good for the soul, beckons. It is moving forward in its purest form, right? Keep this in mind too. Just because you're moving forward doesn't mean it's always the right move. Now, I truly believe everything happens for a reason. So I think even when it's the wrong move, ultimately it's the right move. And some of y'all probably get that, and some of you think that's a bullshit way of looking at it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What I mean by that, simply put, is I do believe everything happens for a reason. So even when you do make a mistake, it was supposed to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that you go, oh, it doesn't matter. You still take ownership for the mistake, right, and change the behavior. So let me go ahead and just say that. Oops, didn't mean to click on your name there, Joe. Sorry about that. So change is moving forward, and in this time, and to come back completely full circle from where I started. During this time of depression, I was truly lost and didn't know what I was going to do with my life because I had lost all the confidence. And what I mean by that is I had real no, other than doing this, right? I talked about the company and I wanted to do it, but if you're not feeling it, then it's not the same. And I even told my wife at times, I was like, even just to get on there and create a logo or a saying or a slogan or do anything, it's all, a lot of that, I shouldn't say all, but a lot of that for me is creativity. And if I'm depressed, well, the creativity, as you can imagine, is not what it once was, right? Definitely not. It's not what it should be if you're trying to create something that you hope other people are drawn to, right? So as I continue to grow and I continue to feel better, and I've come out of this, and I don't know if y'all remember, but it happened now about 10 days ago, last Wednesday. I've already told the story. Go back and watch an old episode. One of the ones in the last episode. My whole life, I've seen some really strange things, from many, many different objects in the sky that, were not a plane, to, in fact, I think I got one on video not too long ago. I'm not kidding. It's just white. Anyway, to clear ghost activity. One of those, and I'll tell the quick story tonight, but one of the ones I had was found a neck bone that had clearly been sawed. It was like, I don't know which one, but it was one of these, and you could tell because it had the blade marks. Like, how when you cut wood, it has the round marks as the skill saw goes through. Those marks were in a human vertebrae that I found out at what looked like a graveyard, right? Not a graveyard, excuse me, a grave, just one grave. Just one grave. There you go. I'll just go like that. It's a single grave in between two trees, right? And there's a lot of other things that I can explain. I literally, I'm going to talk about it because if I don't, I know that the spirit that dwells in this fucking very room and has since I moved in here, will probably get a little pissed off. But I just moved them again. See these back here? I will consistently put those back in place and they get moved. When I come in here, electronics are turned on. Electronics don't work in here quite right. And what I mean by that is the Wi-Fi always disconnects me. And like, to give you an idea, if I send a print job to the printer, that's Wi-Fi. If I'm downstairs, I come up here and tell the printer to find the network. If I'm standing right here and tell it to print from right here, it's no problem. And that has nothing to do with distance. I promise you, I know y'all like, oh, that's just because, dude, we're only talking about 10 feet away, right? And just so you know, I know it's not the distance because once I come up here and tell the printer to find it, the job that I just sent from the printer downstairs starts to print. Okay, so it's not the distance, or else it wouldn't even be able to find the printer. Before my so Skylar's twin brother used to live in here when we first moved in. Right before this was my office, and he used to say that there was something that went on. It literally has a cold spot and a hot spot in it. I can't even begin to tell you. Many things happen in this room when it comes to just oddball things, mostly electronic. But one day, even when I was getting ready for the show, I came up here and the TV was on. I don't turn it on. The Xbox, my Xbox will be on at times. And it's never always the same thing, which also lends me to know it's not just some kind of electronical glitch, because sometimes it'll be just the speaker. Sometimes it'll be the entire Xbox, and I have a light on the bottom and a base light. So I have a fan on the top, cooling fan. It doesn't matter. I have cooling fans on both there, but the whole thing's made to cool. So it's on top and bottom, but they each have lights as well. So there's technically 3 things you have to turn on there, and you do have to turn them on. The way that they're set up, I don't have them to where they turn on automatically, so that they don't turn on automatically. And I'll come in here and those will be on. So I even told the spirit tonight, don't worry, you'll be one of the first things I investigate. And that's really where it's going. I have been, since I was a child, I've wanted to investigate these, for lack of a better word, and simply because of the fact that it is the word that everybody seems to associate, paranormal activities. I wanted to investigate them. I now have the means, the capability, and the real drive to want to. I mean, I would be an absolute bullshit artist if I sat here and told you that it wouldn't be nice to end up literally getting in touch with my son and knowing definitively, and at least in my world, definitively, that he is okay and in a better place. It's funny because one of the reasons too I want to do it is I get tired of watching these YouTubers that do it. I know I'm a quote unquote YouTuber, I guess, but I'm sure a lot of y'all are like me, and that's why I'm doing it. Oh, I would have done this. I would have done that. I want to be there. I'm going to put myself. I'm tired of saying I would have without being able to say I did. Right? Words are cheap. Action is everything. And to me, this is I'm taking it quite serious. I've actually, funny enough, I've already met a couple of guys. I won't say their names out of anonymity's sake, but I've already met two guys. Well, there's more than that have answered the ad, but I've already started going back and forth with at least two, and one woman who has and if y'all are watching tonight, thank you so much for answering that, who was dealing with something in her home, right? And I'm not going to use anybody's names, but she, man, I thought this was crazy because she was like, I need your help. Will you please come to my house and check this out? Right. And I was like, oh shit, that's actually, I know some of you are like, dude, maybe they're just calling you out there. I'm not going to do anything without checking first. It's also part of the reason why I'd rather have a team. There's strength in numbers. That's just the simple logistics of it. Whether you're fighting spirits or whether you're fighting real people, there's strength in numbers. So, Seedless today, I will be starting to share those investigations, and to me, they're going to be. I'm hoping to be different, not just, obviously we all have tools of the trade, but I'm hoping to be a little bit different and take it even more seriously than I have seen some other people. And the fact of the matter is, here in Springs, are you kidding? There's so much, like, you have everything from old gold mines to the fact that Space Force and aliens are huge in the Rockies. And there's just so much paranormal activity here, not to mention cryptids, right? So it's all here. I mean, it's one of the best, to me, if you're ever going to start, like right out of the gate. I can't imagine, I can't imagine many other states that have more to investigate and more to go discover than here. And to me, I don't care if 50 million people have already investigated them. I haven't. And that's how I look at it. I haven't. So it's time for me to do it with my team, And it won't be my team. Just if anybody knows me, it'll be our team. I might be the one putting it together, but I do believe in equality, and I don't believe in judging. So everybody will have an equal say, no matter what. If they're part of the team, they're part of the team. But there's a lot there's a lot of questions that I have, and I've said it before, but I only have a certain amount of time left, and I don't sit around continuing to have questions. I want to move, what's the word? Take action and find some answers. They're out there. They are out there. They may not always be the answer you want. It may not be the answer that you were looking for, but there are answers out there, and I'm even the first one to say that most of the time there's something extremely, I guess, plausible and logical for, explanation. But to me, if it takes 100 times and then you find something real, then it's worth it, right? That makes it worth it to me. Yeah, I'm just heating up the coffee. Give me a second. So as I said, I would be a straight up fibber if I didn't say too. In doing this, which I was pretty straightforward and said it to the in the ad, but And what I mean by that is I lost my son. That's obviously got me attracted to the other side when it comes to spirits, right? There's a lot more, just so people know, paranormal does not necessarily mean ghosts and ghouls. It's anything outside of the norm, period. And I continue. I've said it on episodes prior, and I continue to say it, and I will continue to say it, but we take for granted just how magical, of a world we live in. You know, we're so used to it. Let me give you an idea. Now, I want you to think for a minute that you didn't know this world, right? And let's say for a second you came from a world that, I mean, just try to think outside your mind, but you came from a world that was not, carbon-based life forms, right? And was some other type of life form. And you came here during an electrical storm. How blown away would you be if you're like, for you, right? Maybe you're energy based. You're like, that's life up there. But, take it even further beyond that. To me, it is incredible what goes on in an electrical storm. And we just take it for granted. I mean, like, electricity is striking down, right? I think people forget about this aspect too. That same electricity that's striking down is the same electricity that if you die, they're going to use to try to keep life. Right? It's a magical world, folks. I don't care what anybody says. It's incredibly magical. It's incredibly intricate, unique, and has so much still left to be explored. The beautiful thing is, once we got done exploring in its entirety, which we still haven't, and I want to do some of that too. To me, part of paranormal investigation, and whether the team that I put together wants to do this with me or not, but I also want to investigate just urban places. Like Denver's not too far away. Not to mention, I want to explore some places in the mountains that not just the paranormal aspect, but just places in the mountains. There's just so much to explore here, right? So, anywho. It's actually very exciting for me. Sorry, I'm trying to get a dab, but I lost my train of thought. I lost my car of thinking. All right. Oh, come on, work with me. Of course it's not. It's working against me in every way, shape, and form. If y'all knew what a damn dad was doing. Yeah. Thank you for your patience. But no, exploring in general. The world is an incredibly magical place. It still has so much left to be discovered. I feel thankful that we're at a time when discovery is now on a different plane, like aliens they call the fourth kind, but to me it's the fifth kind and the sixth kind that we're really going to, find some badass shit and stuff that has to do with wrong. Aliens are incredible, but to me aliens only are a piece of it. And it's the whole where to get our original starts and all that kind of stuff. That to me is the fifth and the sixth plane. Those are the things that interest me. And I mean, I literally think about them all the time. I still do my job and live my life. It's not so obsessive that I cannot. This has been forever. And that's the thing, is had these thoughts forever. And now I'm finally going to, step forward and actually start to investigate it and look at it from a completely, hold on. Part of what I want to try to do is, I don't like using the sign. I want to look at it from a completely new way of looking And when I'm my new way, not new to the world. Love you, Zen. Good to see you, brother. They say everything is perspective, right? We all know the old saying, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So I want to investigate these things with fresh eyes. For me, as if I'd never seen any of them, right? That's the real inquisitive nature of us, is when we're kids and we have zero fear and we just tromp off into the woods after a fucking, bulb that goes by us. Oh, what the fuck is that? And we take off, I want to go into things kind of with that, except with, focus up, with the knowledge that I have as a 51-year-old, right? Because as a kid, then I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes as an adult, but I feel like I'll make less and really try to find, it's not just answers that I'm looking for. Because here's the funny thing, and I've said this is the reason, I all know that old saying, the older you get, the less you know. And people that argue it, I tell them, I'm like, I completely get it, because for every question I answer, gain 3 to 5 new questions. So I don't always look for answers anymore. I look for meaning. I don't know if that makes sense to all of you, but to get the answer, it's just going to take you to other places that you don't understand. And that's what I've found to be the truth almost every single time, right? But if you understand, but if you understand the meaning of something that you didn't understand prior, and I know some of you are like, there's no difference. The meaning is the one. Well, then you're not understanding what I'm talking about. That's all I can tell you. And I don't mean that in a rude way. You're just not getting it, and that's okay. Not everybody does. If you just want to get an answer, you can pretty much go out there and Google it. If you want to understand the meaning, then you go out there, investigate it for yourself, and truly understand what is happening. Because most of us are going to sit around and watch life. And what we do, we watch life. We do something. I know we have a living, we make a living, but most of us sit around and watch life. I've never been a watcher. Oh, that was a nice Dat Fab. Oh, look at there. I can always count on you, Zen, to give a perspective. You literally brought Hitchhiker's Guide into it, right? I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean that truthfully. Finding the right question. The answer was always there. Yes. That really, and to me, that was a big dab. That one actually got me off in his heart. It's again what I mean by, finding the meaning of what you're investigating, right? And I'll give you plenty of examples as I start to do investigations while I'm doing it. But the why is only part of it. Getting the answer to that question really is the smaller part of it, because again, you get the answer, it's going to open up more questions. But if you find out the meaning of it, well, then you understand the right question that you're looking for. Sorry, I was trying to bring it back to you, Zen. Well, that looked quite fluffy clouds. Oh, you're talking about, was that my dab? It was. And believe it or not, as you most all know, I don't generally feel, I actually felt that one. Like I feel a little high after all these years. I do have this joint that I'm going to smoke now. I'm telling you, I can't do anything about the shaking. I'll have to get people in the team to either carry the cameras for me, or I'm going to make sure that I have the shake-proof cameras. That's for sure. So I'm back there like this, but the thing is like nice and smooth. He's a great cinematographer. I just bought great equipment. So again, I have a lot of different cameras. I have a lot of different artistic views. I really think some of the things I'm going to do and some of the things I'm going to bring to this, what has become an extremely popular thing, but I get it. It's where we are. Like back in the day, if there was gold rush, I would have been there for gold. When they were finding land and exploring, I would have been on the boats. I'm telling you, I would have been. There's no fucking way, Oh, I ended up getting it. No, you did not. Didn't. It took me a second just because I actually got high for a moment, Zen. That's the only reason, brother. You know what I mean? I was high for a moment, so I had to put it together. What do you mean, puffy clouds? And then it all hit me like a fucking puffy cloud. Again, to me, it is where we are today, and to do anything else is to sit idly by, and I've not done that. You may think it was stupid, but the thing to do in the 90s was to be a drug dealer, right? It was to be a drug dealer, and we all figured out. So I went and became a fucking drug lord. I'm not going to sit here and go over, different examples, but within my sales arena as a salesman, right, you go where it's hot, and that's where you say, "What's up, man? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it." Hold on, Zens. What'd you say? Next season on the humans. Yeah, there you go. Isn't that the damn truth? We are, man. I mean, I have always talked about that. It was one of my favorite Rick and Morty's. Show us what you've got. I was like, that was what I've been thinking for years, that we're literally someone, before we even had reality, dude. I thought this back in the early 70s when I was fucking like 6 or 7, like 78, 79, man. It was shortly after seeing Star Wars for the first time. And I remember thinking, what, we're simply someone else's entertainment. Not even experiment. That was what everybody, I was like, fuck experiment. What if we're entertainment for a collective of beings, What if we're our own entertainment, right? Isn't that trippy? Think about that for a minute. You can be a watcher, or you can choose to step into the fucking simulation and be a doer for a while without any knowledge that you are. Yeah. Okay. If I didn't blow your mind there, well, then let me blow your cock. That's just rude. I don't know you. How to Serve Human, right? One of my favorite, dude. Come on. We all love The Simpsons. One of the funniest, what's the word I'm looking for? Recurring. One of the funniest recurring things I think The Simpsons ever did was the How to Serve Human. In fact, those of you who don't know it, I definitely believe that the big giant heads were that are in Rick and Morty were definitely paying homage somewhat to the two creatures with the fucking domes around them, because they kind of reminded me of them when they talked. That was just my personal opinion. It would be trippy as fuck, wouldn't it? Nice one, Joe. Nice one. So, any behoove you. Oh, come on. I don't like it when it starts with a damn. Are you going to start with a room? And see, here's the, like, I'm trying to be still, but I'm telling you guys, man, shit just happens, My wife loves it, it's just fucking magical for her, but like, I don't like it. I can't keep up with it. Sometimes it gets on my nerves. That's okay. Maybe again, when I stop taking Lexero, it'll be gone. And I know that I'm saying it backwards. I know that. I do believe in parallel universe dimensions. Yep. That's the whole reason. The reason we have deja vu is because, I won't get into it now. Yes, I believe that's part of what deja vu is. And I believe part of what's going on with things like Mandela and what's very obviously fucked up is that, you know, these quantum computers, and I will go into this real quick, but for those who don't know, these quantum computers that they have, one of the CEOs of the largest one at the time, he literally came on and he said, you know, here's the definition of quantum computing. We go into a parallel dimension where they have already gotten the answer to that problem. They've already figured out the solution. So they're simply going into a dimension where the solution is already there and they don't need to do it. So they're just stealing basically the solution, number one. But the real trippy part is that they're going to another dimension. Now, what the fuck are they doing? And do they know how to do it properly? You know, that's what I'm like. Okay, so when you're going in there and you're getting that, well, it's following you back. What else is happening here when you're doing that? Not to mention CERN crushing fucking atoms. Come on, man. Whoever gave those fucks the right to do that? I don't remember signing off on that. Yeah, I'm cool if everybody starts smashing atoms. You know, taking an entire state of the size, small state, and just, you know, get those things going right up there at light speed and smash them. Let's see what's going on. Don't stop. And if you don't believe me, well, look at fucking AI, right? Look at fucking AI. Yes, we will, sir. What do we got here? How oh, exactly. Exactly. Hey, man. I love you, Zen. It's good to see you. Just so you know, Zen, I am fully back in the swing. So you and I, we will have to you and I are going to have a new powwow. It's been a while since I've been able to talk to you, and I think it's time that had you on the show again and had a nice one-on-one, unless you already left and I missed it. But if not, we'll get together, brother. So, you know, back to what I was saying, I will be, what is this? Yes, I really do believe that CERN is making serious, and I'm not trying to, I know I might piss somebody off because I'm, you know, borderlining on, what is it called? Conspiracy theory. But this is not a conspiracy, guys. It's real. Look up fucking CERN. They're doing this. They talk about it all the fucking time. So it's not, you know, it's not made up. Oh yeah, I know. And I saw that today, but I'm going, yep. We will. I know. I was hoping you were still Hillary. We will, Hillary. No, I'm hoping you're still here. We'll plan something. I'll hit you up on Discord for sure, brother. If nothing else, we can literally talk about CERN the whole time. I don't mind. That's like a conversation that really just keeps lending itself to discussion. At least in my opinion, considering what they're doing and the fact that they claim, I'm sure y'all remember, this is all news. This is not conspiracy. It's right in the news, but it was 2012. I believe that was the year that they said the official year of the discovery of the God particle. I'm almost positive. And that, by no coincidence, you know, the Anunnaki have something going on. That's for damn sure. Look at they live in etched in stone. They have fucking Apple watches on. So, I mean, there's something to be said there, right? Yeah, of course. Now, see, I totally agree with that, but that doesn't mean, this is what I keep trying to tell people. Just because you think one thing is God doesn't mean there isn't a God. And here's the one that I get with everybody, because I love, you know, in this world, particularly in our country, I've before, but people are either one here or there, right? They're one place or the other. Let's take evolution. It's either evolution, right? Or it's God, and it's what's the other word that they use? You know, divinity. But that's not what I'm looking for, right? And here's the thing: with God, it's Adam and Eve, and with the other one, with evolution, it's the Big Bang. And here's what I say when I'm standing in between both of them. Have you ever thought for just a minute that maybe God made Bane? How is that such an inconceivable idea? Right? And then said, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to continue to dabble. I mean, if I was God and I was doing it, I would continue like, hey, man, let's do this. Let's do this. I mean, fuck, man, I have been lost for days in SimCity 4, just making a city, and I didn't even get it. That's not even the Sims. That's just putting up buildings, people. That's exactly right, though. It's play with the literal building blocks. It's funny because we're playing with the things that we can't see. Let me just bring that up. I don't believe anything good. Yeah, no, I don't either. I mean, think about Oppenheimer that just came out, right? I mean, that it's an explosion. It's easier to destroy than it is to create. You know, I was literally talking about this not too long ago as well. But you know, to go back to the building blocks, here's my thing. Like, you know, we're smashing atoms, and those are things that our human eye. So we're like, hey, here's something we don't even see, but we know we're all made of these. Let's see what happens if two of them are going the speed of light and just crash into one another. What would happen? Who the fuck sits around and wonders that shit, man? What would happen if you just stopped thinking for a day, other make a day off, hit the fucking Mary Jane, and go look at the fucking stars, just remembering they were, oh, look at the stars. They're so beautiful. Whatever. I say that when all, you know, my whole point is I'm going to go out there and stare at him in a different way. But I don't believe I will ever lose. In fact, I will only gain continued respect for the stars when I look at them and go, wow, that's just wow, 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 wow. Right. And it's okay to say wow, because it's still, we've been a magical fucking place and we take it for granted on a daily basis. On a daily basis, we take it for granted. We look around and we don't even think about where we are, right? In comparison, not just to where we were, but just period. Like, I try to remove myself so many times now and just think, you know, if I didn't know this world, and what I mean by that, I try to be like the dudes in Maze Runner, right? I always love that analogy, not knowing where the hell we are, you know what I mean? And I try to put myself in that position a lot when just, you know, riding around. The clouds to me are spectacular, that these big, huge fucking formations just build up there and they're not dangerous. Like, that's what's crazy. Sometimes you look at it, no, I shouldn't say I'm dangerous. I mean, a fucking lightning cloud or a tornado, that's a hell of a different fucking cloud, isn't it? That is a different monster, and it is fucking dangerous. What you got to say here, Zens? I think it is weird the materials are made up of just a different number of these things, and the makeup, everything. Yes, that's exactly my point. We're all the same thing, and so we're like, let's take the things that we are most, the rudimentariest version of us. I know that may not be a word. I don't give a shit. But let's take the most basic fucking version of us and add them and see what happens if we smash to them at damn near the speed of light, which technically I think they're just under it at some stupid thing. They're not even reaching the speed of light, which I pray, please don't let them reach the speed of light. Look at what they've already done. Them and the fucking quantum computers. Let's go into another dimension. They have the answer over there. We haven't earned it. Let's grab it from them. Besides the dimensional jump, when did computing get so fucking lazy that it's not about computing the answer, but rather stealing it from somewhere they've already answered it? I want to know what fucking dickhead came up with that in the first place, because that's the guy that cheats off of everybody's fucking test and then claims how much of a fucking genius he is. Oh, it must have been Elon. If you love Elon, I'll probably end up pissing you off. I'm not a fan. Look at how intricate the design of the human body is in science. Yes, exactly. Look at the fucking human mind. Yep, I do. I do love Crichton. I might read some more of his stuff because he actually had some really good books. Thanks for bringing him up again, Zones. Not that you did it again. I'm just saying thanks for bringing his name up to me again. I remember one of the biggest disappointments I ever had was I'm pretty sure it was '93 when it came out, right? Went to go see Jurassic Park. Thought it was going to be so much greater than it was, and it's still one of those that I love because it's nostalgia. Now, I mean, it's 30 years old, right? But that movie, and there was another one too. They ended up doing later that they did later that was another great Crichton, and it seems like they should not be allowed to do movies unless they're going to do it justice. Who wrote Westworld? Who wrote Westworld? Yeah, I was getting back to that, Zen. And what I mean by that, I was coming back to the complexity of the human brain and the nervous system, and we've built what we call a computer, and it's a rudimentary version of it. Supercomputers, I think, are getting there on their levels. I'm not talking about quantum computers, but supercomputers. But the whole idea, like, to me, it's virtual memory. Like, our brain is not a calculation of a number of gigs or terabytes or what the fuck ever. It is capable of unlimited knowledge. How fucking badass is that, dude? Like, we don't even think about that, dude. Right? It is capable of unlimited. There's no point where you've learned so much and you're like, can't motherfucking thing. I'm full, dude. I'm full. I've got to go fucking dump my shit. No, there's no point where that fuck happens. That doesn't, our brain is so massively powerful. We just don't even look at that fact. It doesn't have a fucking limit. It also doesn't have a limit as to how much. I'm not just talking about how much it can hold, but how much it can learn, retain, and then duplicate, right? Oh, yeah, and it's not even going to be close with AI. Yeah, and it's not even that you get rid of it, Truly, it's that we have the ability, just like a computer shit running in the background, we have what's called a subconscious. And that's why I'm tired of people arguing about it, going, yeah, conscious. I'm like, absolutely, it's real. We use about 10% of our fucking brain. Otherwise, it would be like, remember the new Superman and Man of Steel, right? When Zod gets the ability of Superman, and like he's hearing everything, he's seeing everything, right? Like the way Superman did when he was a kid, right? And he's talking about. My only point is, if we didn't only use 10%, it would be like that. It would be unfiltered, and we wouldn't be able to have any control, Yeah, exactly. And when you need to access them, you can access just like that. You can quickly go back to it and access it and get a computer. Right? Yeah, exactly, dude. It is literally running on the same electricity. That was my point. Like, how fucking magical of a world is it that if this shuts down, anything here, what do you do? Zap back up? Like, all right, man, let's start your engine again. You're good. Keep on going. You got some time up in you. Oh, yeah, man. Men who stared at goats. All right, so anywho, 50 minutes and counting has been a great night tonight. I appreciate all of you. But obviously, if you didn't get the gist, I am going to be adding to my life, not just to the show, more importantly, to my life, the true, yeah, I don't even know where, maybe STDs were solid state, SSDs, excuse me. I'm adding paranormal investigation to my life in general. I'm hoping to, on a very serious note, I'm hoping to find some really cool things out, and maybe even get some really cool footage, because I think, um, it's unfortunate, but the only thing that people really believe anymore is footage. Even though we know it can all be fake, the only thing that they believe is videos. Why that is, I don't know. For me, I don't. And see, this is my last point. I don't believe those videos many times. And in fact, for me, part of this is I need seeing, as they say, is believing. I've seen some strange shit, but I've watched videos of people seeing even stranger shit. And so I'm not daring the universe. I am going out and I'm going to start explore the universe with new eyes and see what I can see. Mystery gang. There you go. I don't know. And I can't remember the mystery gang. Where's that from? Um, Remind me where that's from, Zins, because I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I would absolutely love to see. I would love to see Bigfoot. That would be a great one. I would love to see any type of what they call cryptid, right? Um, any kind of creature, quite frankly, that is not entirely, or is not human at all, for that matter. The only one I don't think I ever want to see, quite frankly, is the one they're making movies about now, the Meg and Meg 2. I wouldn't want to run into a Meg. You don't run into a Meg, you get swallowed by a Meg, right? That's it. And there's no two ways about it. So, anyway, I'll be off tomorrow. As everybody knows, it is Sunday, so my normal day off. I'll be back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. I don't know when I'll be doing the first investigation, so I don't. If you want to ask, you can try to keep up to date. But obviously, the moment that I get footage, I'm going to do it. One of the things, and people can, what's the word? Throw in their 2 cents on this. If you would like me to live stream some of these investigations, I would be more than happy to do it. Although sometimes, um, yes, you're with the Mist Gang. Thank you. I get it. Duh. Of course, it was a fucking Scooby. And I say Scooby snacks every day when I choke on one of these pieces of whatchamadiggles. So, anywho, back to what I was saying. One of the thoughts I had was live streaming, where I'm already set up the world as live streaming. I think one of the things that would be more interesting is, rather than that's awesome. Hold on, I missed that. You've actually seen one. We'll have to talk about that, man. That sounds badass. Love you, Zens. I'll be in touch, man, and we'll set up a date. You have my word, buddy. Even if it's a 2-week thing from now, I will talk to you. Yeah, me too. Love you, bro. Mine is believing, number one. Number two, I think if I can get the people that I'm doing it with to agree, I feel like one of the new things is that, rather than, and we can come back and edit it, pull it down and do an edited version for people. But I think doing a live, in my personal opinion, that's even more, let's see, it really wasn't, and I won't go into too much about it. I am part Navajo. I'm Cherry Blackfoot, brother. So, right there with you. I told you we had a lot in common. Yeah, my great grandmother's last name was Nations, and we're part of the Appalachian tribes. Got great love for Native American, and I live most of my life, and principles in many, many ways are still based on Native American spirituality. So we will have a great talk tomorrow. That's crazy, dude. I'm so if there's Cherokee, there's Blackfoot, and then there's the Cherokee Blackfoot, which was a mixing of the two tribes. I'm the mixing. I'm not either one singular. I'm the Cherokee Blackfoot tribe. So, there goes some damn ashes. By the way, by Monday, I will have this video up, and I made it up and talk to you about it on Monday. But my wife and I were watching nice Oklahoma, I see. My wife and I were watching Paranormal Caught on Tape, one of the many shows that are there now that just has a collective of stuff off the internet, right? And they go in and they really discuss it verbatim and try to pick what they think is what's that word? Authentic and reasonably convincing video. So there's times the videos will even creep me out, and creep my wife out. Well, I was not trying to creep her out, and I wasn't trying to mess with her, but I came up to her and I just quickly but lightly grabbed her back in her tit, and I scared her so. Apparently, at the same time that I did that, something moved on the TV that she was watching on the show, and so I ended up scaring the shit out of her. And I mean, like, she immediately she hit the shit out of me twice, called me a dick, and was like, wait till you see the video. I mean, she was, I don't know where she went, but I scared the ever loving piss out of her to the point where she was so upset. Oh my God, dude, like literally calling me, hitting me. I was like, holy shit. I watched Nuke's Top 5. I don't know what that is. The videos don't seem too fake. It sounds interesting. If you want to send me a link, dude, I would be more than happy to check it out. Yeah, we're all Zen. You and I have talked about it before, and we will continue that conversation, brother, because I definitely believe it's. Do you remember how I said earlier in the show? For every question you have, right, you get an answer, but then. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to send me a link to YouTube, I saw what you said, Dante. Oh shit! What was the last thing you said? Oh, so simulation. Here's what I was going to say on that. As you answer one question, you get more. Right? I was talking about that earlier. That literally happens a lot now, and I'm not going to go to all the different answers I got or how many questions I have now, right? But it was just one thing after another, taking me all the way to, life is a simulation. And it's funny, I even bought this book. I was looking to see if I have it. I'll show it to y'all eventually. Promise, I don't know where I've put it right now, but I'll show it to you when is that it? And I'm not saying I believe everything in this. Okay, so before I show it to you, please know that I don't believe necessarily everything, but this to me speaks volumes and is quite brilliant. And it's written by an MIT computer scientist, shows why AI, quantum physics, and Eastern mystics agree we are in a video game, right? I don't know if anybody's seen this book, but it's called The Simulation Hypothesis, right? I will tell you this, rather than me sit here and talk about it, this is a really great book if you want to have a great understanding of what a lot of people are starting to come to the realization of, right? And it's why, the plane that we're now exploring, and by the way, to me, to have all these things from, you see, it's funny because even before the Matrix, like I believed in the idea of a false world, right? Like a cloak, if you will, over what is really there. And then they put it into that, type of thing. And then it's cool. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's still not quite exactly what I believe, if you will. And what I've come to believe, regardless, if it is a simulation and based on code, and there's a lot of evidence that it is, then you start to realize that really anything that you think is anything that you would consider or classify as not possible is, because it can be written and the code could be manipulated. It's why, I don't know about you folks, but my wife and I talked about, we were watching a video today on the paranormal thing, and it was some guy that recorded a plane just sitting there. We have seen the same thing, just a plane not moving for like 30, 40 seconds, right? And all of a sudden moving again. It wasn't perspective. It just wasn't moving, folks. You can't explain that. There's all kinds of things, right? And if we're recording, if we're watching it, then we're getting more and more proof. And it will take us a moment of, I think I'll consider it to be a divine moment, because it'll be kind of where, our creation is confronted with our realization, right? So anyway, this book. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, another good book, if you really want to read a good book, that's a classic right there. That is a classic. Let's see. Let me get back up here and see some of this that I missed. Yep. Welcome to the real. I like it. That's funny. Have you ever seen anything just get stuck and you're like, oh yeah, literally, that's what you must have typed that before I said it. That's the sim working too. I can't tell you, dude, how much I will think of something and then it now happens. I test the simulation. And what I mean by that is I think of, and I saw this in a movie called Glitch in the Matrix. The movie was called Glitch in the Matrix, but it was a documentary. It was all about, literally, it was about that book. And what I mean by that is the hypothesis of living in a simulation. And one of the best things I got from it, one of the best things I got from it was to test. And I'd never really thought about that. And I was actually pissed off with myself. I was like, how did you not think about doing that? But anyway, one of the guys pointed out that just the obvious, very logical. He's like, I test it. And the way he does it is he will think of a very specific shape and a very specific color, and then see how long it takes for the sim to put it in front of him for real. And that is great exercise. I tell you what. Yep. We're all programming as we go through. We do need better writers. I agree with that one. I love it. Oh, I've seen a bunch. I'm sorry it took you so long, but they're there, man. I've been seeing them since I think I was like 6 or 7 the first time my mom and I saw one. I prefer Devil May Cry. I did. I'm assuming that's you probably saw that documentary, Glitch in the Matrix, Clairvoyant. Particularly, yes, while it's happening, exactly. Oh, dude, it's not even just the radio. I'll take it further, because to me, the radio is one thing, because that's like, not to mention, we're not to, I don't want to belittle what you're saying. It's kind of like we get programmed by the radio and we get used to hearing it, right, all the time. I think it's even more impressive when you hear it when you're on Spotify, and you're thinking of a song you haven't heard in forever, right? I'm talking something old, and it has nothing. It's not the same genre of music you're listening to, and Spotify switches up the whole thing, switches genre, switches decades, switches everything, and goes to the exact song. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Come on, man. What the fuck's going on? What's going on? So, yeah. Yeah, you have. May the spirit be with you. All right, folks. Each and every one of you are awesome and incredible people. I love all of you. I've been on for a little over an hour. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. As I end it with every show, do remember that each and every one of you are incredibly special, unique people. The fact that nobody else thinks like you, nobody experiences your experiences, even if we are in a sim, you are here for a reason. In fact, to me, personally, and yes, this is an opinion, but if we weren't in a sim, then it's more random. The fact that we are in a sim means everything plays on one another just the way it's supposed to. So keep that in mind. You're quite special. And if you change one thing, then the whole thing would be different. You know, the two big laws that people believe in this simulated world we live in are, one, the butterfly effect, right? And the reason that we have the butterfly, most people believe, is because of the fact of 6 degrees of separation. We're each only separated by every other being by only 6 steps. And that's true. And anything you do has an effect on what I do. So keep on keeping on and remember that. I love each and every one of you. I will be back. Perspectives, I love it. I saw that. Hold on a minute. I got to catch up real quick. Black Hole Sun. Just listened to that the other day. Car accident in front of me and 3 times same week. Yep. It is perspective too. It's kind of like you know, everybody talks about it. The moment that they buy a car, everybody else is driving that fucking car on the road. That's perspectives. That's exactly what we're talking about here. So I love all you guys. If I miss your comment, I'm getting ready to do the outro, but I will be back on Monday, and I hope all y'all have a blessed evening, have a blessed weekend, have a blessed beginning to your week, and I will see you Monday night. Peace. Love you.
I switch here, I'm a strange fuck. Consist on ain't something I could say well. Throw my change into the wishing for a change well. Wish a day is swell life for the next come. And when the next come, pretend that it's the best one. Like I ain't even gonna try and say that to the next one.